Welcome everyone to Already Cancelled. I am Pierre, that is Tara, and we are going to talk about the Twilight Zone, Season 3, Episode 19. It's called The Hunt. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. This episode features an old man who goes hunting for raccoons with his dog. He has a nice little cabin. He has a nice little old wife, who makes him supper, and they seem very happy together. But unfortunately, he goes out, and both him and his dog drown. They die. They're super dead. And this is actually kind of a ghost story-esque episode, where he does not realize he's dead, and he comes walking back through and doesn't understand why no one's reacting to him until he eventually sees a coffin, and he understands ultimately that he has moved on. He is beyond the living. And then it goes even more sort of specific and crazy with it in the second half. But that is the gist of the episode. It is a man and his dog who both die together and leave his wife a widow. Tara, what did you think of The Hunt?
Well, despite your description, I actually thought it was kind of a sweet episode.
I think I just emphasized the death part because it occurred to me after it happened when I realized, oh, they're dead. I'm like, wait, they killed the man and the dog as the start of this, like as the premise of this episode. That's quite dark.
Yeah, and the raccoon survives.
Yeah, the raccoon gets out of the water just fine, but the dog is drowning. The old man jumps in to save them, and then they're dead.
Yeah, I mean, the old man does dive headfirst into a river. Like, that's pretty dumb.
Yeah, I don't know how deep that river is, but it didn't seem that deep. So,
and they say he's an old man.
Yes.
And he's been married to his wife 50 years, but I'm pretty sure he's like 51. In the episode, the actor is actually not as old as he says he is.
I mean, I don't know what the age of like marriage was back when they were supposed to have gotten married, but let's say it was 16, right? That would mean if they've been married for 50 years, he has to at least be in his mid-60s.
Yeah, I think he says he's 70 in the episode.
So you get married when he's 20, which is reasonable. People get married when they're 20.
Sure.
But I don't know if 70-year-olds should be like diving headfirst into rivers. Just a bit of advice for all you geriatrics out there. I had a way dive headfirst into a river. But you definitely shouldn't be doing it.
No.
Yeah. So I actually... the episode, I was up and down with this episode. The first couple of minutes where it was just him and his wife and they're being kind of sweet to each other, I thought, I mean, this is pleasant enough, but I was like, what is this episode? Get to it. Come on. Rod, interrupt and get the episode going. Come on. This is going too long. But obviously it's there to make you like him, make you like his wife and their sweet relationship, so that it matters that he's gone.
Yeah, they're still flirting after 50 years. That's sweet.
Yeah, it's just cute. But once the death happens, I was kind of into it. I was like, okay, so this is him seeing two guys dig a grave for his dog, and then he sees his wife and the veil and like them taking the coffin out for the procession. That's where the ad break happens, and all of this realization is good. And he tries to follow them to the cemetery or wherever the funeral is going to be taking place. But he ends up running into a gate and he can't go any further. So he's like, oh, well, we'll just, this wasn't here before, but we'll just walk around. We'll walk around. And the second half of the episode goes in a kind of interesting place where he comes to like an opening in the gate, and there's like a man there who essentially claims this claims to be the entrance to heaven. Says, okay, this is, you're supposed to be here. You passed away, and how did you die? And this is actually how he finally really learns that he's dead. I mean, it's pretty obvious before. I mean, we've all figured it out long before he eventually has to hear it and accepts it. But he's told that he's just going up this little road, and this is where heaven is, and there's all these things, and it's going to be perfect.
But no dogs allowed.
But no dogs allowed. There's a separate dog heaven. He has to go down the road to this other gate, and he'll be allowed in that dog heaven. And the old man says no matter what, he's not going anywhere without his dog. He'd rather stay here in this purgatory, this limbo with his dog, than go anywhere without him.
Mirroring like when he wanted to bring the dog inside the house in the beginning of the episode, and the wife said no way, and he was able to barter in to keep the dog. Hey, he said, "Hey, the dog saved my life. He's allowed to come inside with me."
Yeah. What I wasn't expecting from this, because at this point in the episode, I was kind of thinking, oh, I mean, maybe this is about him going to have to accept to let go because both him and the dog are dead. Even though, if there is an afterlife, it's kind of weird that they wouldn't, if they say heaven's a real thing, right? It's kind of weird that they wouldn't want loved ones to be with each other. That's including your pets. Like, it's very odd to say, no, your pets can't go with you.
I know. We all know all dogs go to heaven. They made movies about it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. They go to a farm. Go live on a farm somewhere. What I wasn't expecting, though, after he leaves and walks off into another, direction, is that another character shows up and says, "Oh, hey, I've been looking for you," and explains that he's there to direct him to heaven, and explains that the gate that we're at before was actually hell, and that the guy there was tricking them into going into hell. And of course, he can bring his dog with him. And I think what surprised me and what kind of made me feel a bit lukewarm in the ending, because I like this concept that was brought up, is that we're not really sure which one's really hell or which one's heaven, and he's going to have to try and make a choice. Is that I thought that's kind of what the point was going to be, is that he was going to have to make a choice and not really be sure which one was correct until he went through. But the episode doesn't really do that. It just kind of like, he takes for granted that this new one is correct and is heaven because they let him take his dog, and that, because I was shocked. See, when Rod Serling started speaking, I was like, oh, I guess that's just heaven. Oh, I really thought there was going to be...
there'd be another twist where really he just got tricked into going into hell?
Yeah, I was like, well, how do we know to trust you then? Like, I generally didn't know why he was any more trustworthy than the previous guy, other than
because,
the dog.
Going into a place that doesn't allow dogs sounds like hell to him.
Which it does make some sense. But it was just, it was the way it introduced it. I thought, oh, this is going to be the real crux of the episode. He's going to have to make this choice. And then the episode was over and Rod started talking. I was like, oh, okay.
No, the angel says that you can't... Hell actually gets a lot of souls, but they're never able to get souls that have dogs with them, because dogs can smell the brimstone and won't let you go, which is what happens. Like when he gets to that gate, the dog starts barking and pointing the other way.
How many people do you think are dying at the same time as the dogs, so they're going in as a pair?
I don't know. I'm hoping Foxy will wait for me.
I just don't,
I don't trust Gus to lead me into the right gate, though. My cat.
Oh yeah.
Cats are useless. Like, let's go to the warm one. Good for napping.
That sounds accurate. So, I mean, honestly, the episode is fairly well paced. Maybe outside of the opening lasting a little bit long. Like I say, the ending, I thought there was going to be like which one is the right one, but that wasn't even a question in the character's head. And Rod even says in his narration at the end, like, the dog was what let him know, so it was okay. But I genuinely was like, I was kind of thinking we were going to get which one's the right one, and what's going to be the tell sign. And the dog could still have been the tell sign. The dog clearly favoring one over the other could have been the thing. And that ties into the rest of the episode where, yes, he wanted the dog to be in the house, and he always went out with his dog, and even the way he talks to his dog was the old lady's going to be mad at us because we're out all night.
And the dog's name is Rip, like R.I.P.
So it was a neat episode. I don't think it's going to be one that sticks with me as much as some other ones, maybe because I don't know because we've done a lot of like death episodes on Twilight Zone.
I agree. I saw that the rating for this one was pretty high, which I thought was a bit odd.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was sweet, but
yeah, I would say this feels more like an average episode to me than a great episode.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. Like, an average Twilight Zone is pretty solid, but
sure, yeah. I mean, I love dogs too, so as a dog mom, I'm happy that this has a nice message.
I mean, I like the tone. I like the tone of him, particularly in the once you get to the pearly gates. I mean, they're not actually pearly, but once you get to the gates,
it's more of like a Garden of Eden situation. I think
it's a bit more fantastical at that point, of course. But I actually did kind of like the kind of the sad tone of him not quite getting why no one was talking to him, and then seeing his wife just sit there quiet, and then the priest coming out and talking to her and saying, hey, I know he wasn't of the faith, but he deserves a Christian funeral, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and he was pissed off that some guys were digging a hole in his backyard, and then he realized, and they weren't talking to him. I think he was about to shoot them or give him a warning shot, and then someone said, like, we have to lower the dog, and then he talks to the dog, like, oh, never mind, like, they're burying a dog, let's just leave him in peace, because I mean, obviously he loves his dog so much that
he even says that's why they're not talking to me. They're just too choked up to even react to me. I actually thought that's how he was going to find out, is that he was going to try and shoot them and nothing was going to affect them. Like he was going to fire his gun and the gunshot would go off, but they would just not react still.
Yeah, and it's like a shotgun, so
yeah,
a double barrel shotgun. Like there's no way they're not going to react somehow.
Yeah, so I thought that was going to be how, maybe not how he realizes he's dead, but realizes that, wait, they just can't see or hear me. There's something's mysterious as afoot here. It's not just them being rude. There's something more than that. But no, again, it ties into the heart of the episode where he sort of lets it go. He's getting upset, but he lets it go because when he realizes that they're burying a dog, he's like, oh, okay, they're burying a dog. Let's leave them be. Let's leave them be. Rip.
Yeah.
And we'll go.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean,
sweet.
As far as the character episode goes, it does a good job of reiterating exactly who he is throughout the episode and his bond with his dog. So it's very well constructed in that sense.
I agree. And I like the recurring moments of like, oh, okay, like the dog saved his life is sometime in the past, and how the dog is saving him even in death. Like that's sweet. And I don't know, it's just a nice episode, except for the end when he's told that his wife is going to be joining him soon, and that's a little sad. Like he seems excited about it, but like, oh, she's gonna die soon. Maybe time doesn't matter, so
yeah, maybe time in heaven kind of moves differently, where for him it'll be soon, but for her she'll still get another 15 years or whatever. But
or she's just like super distraught and she's gonna drown herself in the river to join her husband.
Hey, that happens. Like some couples, like they'll die quite close to each other because just one of them will go and then the other one will just be like miserable because they've been together for so long that they don't know how to live on their own. And
that's so sad.
They die like 6 months later, and it's like, oh well.
That's so sad. I mean, it's kind of sweet, but also like, oh, can't have a nice Twilight year,
Yes. But hey, I mean, they were so happy together. I mean, I guess she's gonna have to move because she's living out in this middle of nowhere little hut essentially, and he's bringing back stuff to cook for dinner, and these little hunts.
Just raccoons. Like that's pretty gross.
Yeah, I do like the double.
She had bread. She'll be fine.
I do like the double meaning of the title though, because the hunt. Once you get to the second half of the episode, the hunt in question it's really more about the hunt that I guess Satan, if you want to use that word, is hunting for souls. That's what the hunt really is.
Could it be Satan? You're not American. You don't get that. It's Church Lady from Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live.
Well, I have to deal with your I don't know, Dr. Footstomper or whatever your British comedy shows are from your kid, from your childhood.
What?
Something equally dumb, whatever it is.
What? Look, I'm sorry, Saturday Night Live never really quite made it across the pond. Okay. Are we done with the episode?
I don't know what else to say.
Okay. Yeah, sweet episode. Yeah, and the old man's performance, he has to carry pretty much everything. So, he's likable old dude. It's a very, very nice episode, which I've said like 5 times at this point, but that really is just what it is. Which is maybe also maybe slightly to its detriment that there's nothing like, biting about. There's nothing to kind of like latch on to you, and it's not a suspenseful episode really. It's
it's kind of a neat reveal, like, oh, he was almost doomed, but escaped it,
so
because he trusts his dog, his doggy.
That's the hunt. Next week we're getting an actor to well, we'll find out. I'll read the description, but that's all I remember from what Rod said. It was an actor, someone who plays a cowboy in TV. The story's about them. It's called Showdown with Rance Mcgrew.
It's a made-up name.
Yeah, why not McGraw? Why McGrew? That's a weird name. I mean, even Rance is kind of a weird name that I'm thinking about it. Rance? Rance?
Yeah. Some names just die out, you know.
Or never existed at all. I'm willing to bet in this case. So, the star of a Western TV series suddenly finds himself transported back in time to the real Wild West and face to face with the real Jesse James. Okay, so this is an interesting and decent premise. Obviously, we've had some similar ideas on the show before, but I would maybe argue this is kind of a Galaxy Quest style.
Yeah, Galaxy
premise.
Quest, Westworld, even maybe a little bit. Where you think, you know, something's supposed to be just a show and then it turns out to be real.
Okay, sure. Yeah. But yeah, as premises go, it sounds perfectly solid. So we'll see. But I've not. Typically, their Western episodes haven't been their best, so I'm not filled with a giant amount of optimism for it.
I know of one really good one later on.
Okay.
We're halfway through the season.
We are
Episode
halfway.
19.
Yes, we are. We're 18 was the end of half one. You're correct.
There's 37. It doesn't actually work out to be exactly half.
Well, this is the middle episode then. Episode 19 is the middle episode.
That's crazy. It's a long season.
Yeah. Oh, it's only one more than the last. Well, the 2 is a little bit shorter, but it's only one more than season 1. Season 4 is much shorter, but the episodes are all twice as long. So,
yeah.
Take from that what you will. But yeah, that's what's coming up next time. You can let us know what you thought of this episode of The Twilight Zone in the comments below. You can like and subscribe, all that stuff. It helps us out a lot if you do. YouTube really kind of bases the success of everything on whether or not we have likes and comments and stuff like that. So please do. Tara will tell you about Patreon.
Yeah, if you enjoyed the reviews, please check out our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/MildFuzTV. And if you donate as low as $1 per month, you'll get access to bonus episodes for other shows we do. And if you donate $5 per month, you will get access to these reviews 1 week early. Just Twilight Zone and some other shows. Some other shows you get a day early. So go check it out. Thank you.
That'll do us though. You can get us on Twitter at @mailed_fuzz for channel updates. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV in the Twilight Zone.